Hi everyone, I'm David. I'm here with Wojtek. We are from Tonik, an mid-size agency based in Poznań, Poland, but working closely with clients mainly from US and mainly early stage startups. So founders growing from 0 to 1, we help them do the branding, do the design, and do the no-code, of course. We've been 18 years on the market, doing no-code for past 5 years, and Webflow is our main weapon of choice. We also did some apps in Bubble, and are currently looking into Wisp to build some other amazing stuff.
What were the beginnings of your agency and why did you choose NoCode?
All right, so Tonik is old. We are 18 years old, actually. So we are kind of dinosaurs. And Tonik started as a design agency. It was founded by Krzysiek and Patrick together. And we were doing design at first. But around 5 years ago, since we are working with early stage startups mainly, and we landed Segment as one of our biggest clients around 4 years ago, which pushed us into the space of this fast-paced building design systems and designs and everything else. People started pouring in and asking for implementations of the, let's say, websites that we designed for them. And they didn't have that much of a budget because they were starting stuff. And they wanted to move very, 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 very fast. So basically, that's how NoCode started. We got introduced to Webflow and started doing websites there. Clients loved it, we loved it, and ever since, we are using this tool and also grew our arsenal of tools to Bubble and Wisp to build even more complicated stuff. So that's basically how it started. To sum it up, we had clients that wanted to move fast, so we kind of looked into the no-code space to fulfill those needs.
How about you? What were you doing before the agency?
I was a freelancer. I was doing a lot of WordPress. So around 5 years ago, I was super lost. I was doing like construction work in Netherlands, in US. I was kind of figuring my way. And I always wanted to work from a cafe with a laptop. And I knew I had this aesthetic eye, so I kind of started looking into design. And I remember that one day I was watching a YouTube video, like a 3-hour-long YouTube video titled something like how to build a site using Divi, I think. It was like a WordPress theme, using a drag and drop builder and make it alive. And I was hooked. I didn't know it was this easy. I didn't know how to code, but as soon as I saw it, I kind of thought that it is my answer to go into this space. And I loved it from day one. So I started doing WordPress websites. And then I found Webflow through Rans Segal Flux Academy courses. And I kind of came into the crossroads of choosing WordPress or Webflow. You know, WordPress was easier to sell on Polish market, but Webflow was this new cool kid on the block that had so many more possibilities, but I needed to learn a little bit of HTML, CSS. So I kind of took a leap of faith and went into doing Webflow around, I think, 4 years ago. It was around this time. Started doing that, but then it kind of got lonely, freelancing. I needed more people around me. So I was on the lookout for agencies. And I think it was on one of Polish Facebook Webflow groups that I saw a post with a job offer from Tonik. And I applied at the same day by doing a custom landing page, not a CV. I did a custom landing page showcasing my experience. And that's how I applied. And they hired me almost on the spot. And that's where I also met Wojtek. And we worked together ever since. It was around two years ago. So that was my beginnings.
You started a couple of years ago. Were there any initial challenges you encountered with NoCode? I mean, with market, industry, clients. How was it?
Yeah, of course. So when I started with WordPress, and it was because it was easier to sell in Poland, and it still is. But the industry market is changing. There's a lot of more people aware about Webflow. So this was a main challenge when I moved into Webflow after ditching WordPress. The main challenge I encountered was not only the higher learning curve of actually learning HTML, CSS, JS. It was actually selling it to Polish clients and convincing them that it's better than WordPress, in my opinion, of course. I'm not trying to, undermine WordPress here, because it has its uses. So that was the main challenge, I think. First was a learning curve, but it's worth it. And the second one was selling it to Polish clients. But then I actually overcame it, because I kind of figured one day that I don't only have to sell it to Polish clients, I can only sell it to international clients. So I just started writing out emails in English, and it worked. So yeah, that was the initial challenges.
Tonik is on the market for many years. Can you describe any significant milestones you've reached so far? I mean, related with NoCode.
Yeah, so we had a dream of becoming a Webflow enterprise partner. I've been ahead of our team in Tonik past 1 year and throughout the past year, and I'm still am. And the main goal that they had and we had was actually becoming joining the elite group of enterprise partners. What does it mean? It means that you work with very big clients, and you don't only use normal, let's say, Webflow hosting, but you use the custom solution prepared by Webflow team for the client. And we actually did that. We launched LangChain, which handles around 500,000 users monthly. So it was above those limits that normal Webflow plans gave you. And we actually joined the team as the first in Poland, and I think 10th in Europe, and a group of almost 100 agencies that are doing that. And it's big in my head, and it's big for our team. That was the main milestone that we reached last month, actually.
Hi, my name is Wojtek. I'm part of the NoCode team at Tonik, and I'm responsible mainly for building products and websites using Webflow and Bubble. I think I will share 2 projects with you today, and let's start with HolidayOS. This project was awesome, and I think it features one of the most important aspects of working with NoCode, which is having fun. And we have a lot of fun while building this one. So instead of sending postcards to our clients on the holiday season, we decided to craft something special for them. And this time it was a vintage operating system with a Christmas vibe. It featured a Christmas playlist, a custom video that we recorded in our office, and a guest book where anybody could share some wishes with people. It's all based on Webflow and Webflow logic, make.com, and some JS crafted with ChatGPT magic. This project was quite unique because it connected NoCode with the real world, which means people could plant trees in real life. Once they found the tree icons on the screen, they could submit the form, and via API connection, we sent the amount of trees that were to be planted to a company that worked with us on this project. The biggest challenge here was to handle the connection itself, but luckily with a set of forms and Webflow logic, we could accomplish our goal. Our bet paid off, and the clients loved the experience. The project won an honorable mention on awards.com and was featured as HubSpot in a HubSpot blog post, hitting the first place on the list of retro website design examples. And you can see the case study on you can see the project itself on holidayos.tonik.com, or you can read the article on Tonik blog where I cover the building process. The second project we worked on and we are really proud of is LangChain, and you can see it on langchain.com. LangChain is the go-to platform for developers and enterprises to build AI apps and quickly bring them from prototype to production. It's like basically the GOAT, and you can build amazing stuff with it. So it was really great to work on this project where we could connect both trends, like no code and the AI. This website is pretty huge for us, and I feel like it's a culmination of all the previous projects I created at Tonik. And the deadline was really tight, and expectations were really high. This is something that David covered in his previous arguments, that startups want things fast. So we had to make sure that everything was going to work as planned. We developed the whole website in 3 weeks, and it was pretty intense, but totally worth it. The major challenge was the timeline. So we leveraged the Reloom library, which you can find on their website too, and our internal style guide to make the whole process as smooth as possible. So making sure that the right Kanban is on board and intensive QA is on the place. This project was unique because it required leveraging Webflow Enterprise. So often I hear that projects in no-code don't scale and it won't work for bigger projects. But yeah, here we are, hundreds of thousands of users monthly, and it can be all easily managed without knowing how to code. And they don't have to worry about the insane amount of traffic the site receives.
From your perspective, how has NoCode changed the way we create software compared to the traditional software development? I mean, you mentioned that you've moved from a design agency to a NoCode agency. That's interesting. So what was your perspective on that?
Yeah, so I would say it not only made an impact, it actually shook the entire traditional software market and will continue to shook it with an addition of AI too. It's like a superpower on top. So first thing, no-code development is much faster and much more capitally efficient. So it's like a no-brainer for people, and especially the early stage startups I mentioned before, to kind of save a little money and push out something fast. Let's say they want a landing page. We can do it in 2 days, leveraging Reloom or Reloom style guides or library, pulling out pages, validating stuff. And that's the second point. You can actually validate your ideas, not only like using Figma prototypes, you can build out something very fast using Bubble and actually see if there is a market fit for that idea. And there is a lot of people doing that. We actually had an amazing story, an amazing opportunity to work with Cactus AI, which is a startup founded when ChatGPT came out, and it was like 2 students. They leveraged ChatGPT to make a tool to write essays for school, and they were the first that added citations to the essays, so it wasn't plagiarism and anything else. And when they actually built the app on Bubble themselves to test out their MVP without any development costs, without anything around. Actually, the guy that founded it, Tao, actually learned Bubble and just used it. And the amount of users they had they have now more than 2 million users. The app is still running on Bubble. And when they showed us the insights of it and the Google Analytics around a year ago, we were flabbergasted. It had like million users running on the app, and it's still running to this day. So it's insane how those 2 guys could do it, and they are earning a ton of money doing that. If they wanted to build it with traditional software development, it would take them much longer and it would be much more costly. So let's say somebody else came up with an idea, the same idea, used no-code tool, and went there before them. So it saved them. The no-code speed saved them there. And another impact, there is an indie hacking community growing. This Peter Levels on Twitter, a guy that is a solo founder that founded like around eight ongoing startups right now, earning him around $300,000, I think, dollars a month, just by validating. He's actually not a no-code founder, but he's really into no-code solutions and leveraging them. So what I'm trying to say here is no-code is bringing more people to the software space, and the point of entry is getting lower and lower because the tools are getting better and better. So actually anybody can be a founder. The impact it has is tremendous. So yeah, just do it, just try and just look around those tools.
Could you provide an example where no-code offered a distinct advantage over traditional software development?
Of course, I think I have two examples that I can think of. The first one is building MVPs. So at Tonik, we work on multiple internal projects, and also we build products with our clients. So naturally, we moved into the space of building the first version for something. And for example, in the case of this house, which is like an internal project that we built, we were able to test out our idea in basically 2 days, starting without anything. We just had the overall idea for the app, and it was a library for your vinyl collection that could be loaded straight from discogs.com website, where usually people who collect vinyls handle their libraries. But the one thing that they are not great about is they display the collection in really ugly way. So we decided to do something with that, and we gathered a team and started with selecting like what we want to work on first. And usually this process would take us weeks, but in case of no code, we could do it all in 48 hours basically. And not working 48 hours all the time, but working like, let's say, maybe 10-hour shifts for 2 days. So we were able to design the app itself and then create a landing page for it, create a design and UI for the app, and then develop it using Webflow and FastGen, which is similar to Xano. Some of Bubble users might know Xano. And we handled all the databases and logic in FastGen. So we started with building a really simple prototype without the UI. And once we proved that it works, we could apply the UI on it so that it looked great. And then also we shared this with some people, started testing it out, and started applying some small improvements and tweaks. So again, the fast turnaround here was the key, and I think something that makes the whole process really outstanding. And then when we needed the dev help, we just asked for it, and we could just copy and paste the code provided by the developer. So we minified the amount of work that developers had to do, and we could go from the idea to working up and then testing it in really 2 days. The second example is developing LangChain in 3 weeks with QA. So this was like the culmination of the no-code like possibilities in action, because the whole website was pretty extensive, and it featured some animations. They were prepared in video MP4s, luckily, so we just could copy and paste the video and place it in the proper space. But still, we had to figure out how to make sure that the performance is great and that we will be able to do it on time. And the second challenge here was also handling hundreds of thousands of users monthly. And Webflow helped us a little bit here with the enterprise plan, which covers all that. And then also we used the guidelines and best practices from, for example, Relum library, client first approach to naming stuff in the system. And also we worked with David on the website in shifts. So I started doing like the first designs, and I started working on it during like few hours in the morning, and then in the afternoon he would continue. So the challenge of like moving the project from one person to the other also was not a huge deal here, because knowing the basics, using like the best practices, we could easily hand over the project from one person to the other, and also then hand over the project to our clients. So even though that it was the first time that they used the Webflow platform in LangChain, they are able now, without having to spend like hundreds of hours or involving other people, to update the copy, update the text, add new form fields, connect the form to Airtable, whatever they want. And they can do it by themselves. We just provided a set of basic tutorials recorded basically on their we just provided a set of tutorials recorded directly on their website, so that they know how to do all the stuff that I mentioned.
The common misconceptions about no-code that you encounter? I mean, working with clients or working with potential clients, also speaking at the events?
Yeah, so it all depends on who is asking, because when it comes to clients, then the biggest misconceptions are that no code is cheap. That's the first one, I think. And it can be cheap, but I heard like really long time ago this sentence that you can pick 2 out of these 3 elements: good, cheap, and fast. And it can be either good and cheap, but then it won't be fast. It can be cheap and fast, but then it will not be good. But what we do at Tonik is that we are focusing on good and fast. And sometimes people don't understand that it takes time to develop the website properly in no code. But we prove it to them on daily basis that you can do it if you go like for the path which is good and fast. Then the second misconception is that no code is not scaling. So David briefly touched this point that we worked with clients that have millions of users in Bubble app. Now worked with clients that have hundreds of thousands of visitors on their website. It all works, it all scales if you approach it in a proper way. And if you have experience with working with bigger projects and bigger companies, then it's actually not that hard to set up once you learn how to do it properly. When it comes to the last misconception that I think that companies have, is that you can build anything with no code. They just think that if something can be done in code, then they believe that it can be done in no code directly. And I don't think you can build everything, but you can add a little bit of custom code to no code. And hey, you can always use ChatGPT for that. So basically, I think this statement that you can build anything with no code is only correct if you add a splash of code to it. And then when it comes to people who are just starting their journey or now trying to level up in no code, I think they have some misconceptions about how easy it is. And we can see it all over the place, that people share with us like, do landing page in 10 minutes in Webflow, or learn Webflow in 30 minutes. So basically, yeah, I think it's easy to learn Webflow, or easy to start a learning process, but it's hard to master. So actually, I think it's also the advantage, because then it's easy to get into no code, but then mastering it is like another thing. It's like in chess, like it's easy to learn the rules, to know how the pawns or how the bishops move. But then mastering the art of chess is hard, and you have to learn your tactics. You have to learn how to like pick proper teachers, and you can do all of that, but it won't be easy in the long term. If you want to do it right, if you want to just build a landing page and then forget about it, you can use any template and then it will be easy.
What are your predictions for the future of no-code development in the upcoming years? Any trends or technologies that you are excited about?
Yeah, I think I can share with you my guesses. So I have to disclose I'm not Nostradamus, but I think we are going in the following direction. So the biggest trend I think will be the AI and no-code collabo. So connecting the AI solutions to all the no-code tools so that we can do stuff in more efficient way, and even faster. And I believe that the like ChatGPT example with writing code, JS code, could be one of the places where we could see more improvements. So more support for no coders where they need to code something, but also more support when it comes to the feedbacking phase. We are building also like the feedback wizard in Tonik. It's a Figma plugin which gives you feedback if you just provided images on your product designs or landing pages, so that if you are a no-code developer, you can just go there and gather the feedback. So yeah, I place like a huge bet on AI in no-code. Then I think that there are some areas where we will see more one-man army people. So there will be more people that know Wiz, Webflow, Bubble, etc. Because I feel like this will be the people that stand out for smaller companies and smaller clients that can leverage just one person using all the different apps and crafting the best solutions for them. I think the example of a person like that is Michał from Love My Web, who knows Webflow really well. He knows Make.com really well, and also connects it with his marketing experience, and builds really amazing solutions for his clients. And then on the other side of the spectrum, we will see more specialized people. So more people knowing only Webflow and being the best in that, because these people will be a huge advantage to work with in big projects where you have to handle multiple areas of a project. And it's connected with the next trend that I think we will see is that more huge companies will make the move to pick no-code as their tool of choice, and they will need more people to accomplish their goals. And that one is also like all the trends I think are interconnected. So next one is improved security. I think we are finally in the stage where like this solo no-coder that doesn't care too much about cookie policy or like maybe privacy policy, or also doesn't worry too much about the safety of the app they are building, will shift to actually thinking and finding out solutions to keep everything safe, and especially when it comes to the user data, but also when it comes to keeping safe the content that you want to keep maybe hidden, or you have like a paid course that you want to make sure that is not shared like everywhere. So also big companies care about security, so that's why they pick Webflow Enterprise, and more of them are into this game. Then the last one, the biggest trend I think is more products built on no code, especially MVPs. And people now see that they have the possibility of building their products, and they will look for more ways to build the MVP and test it out, before launching the full product, because this way then they can make sure that they have the product market fit, that their startup will have customers, that the features that they want to deliver are actually the ones that they should deliver. And NoCode makes it all really easy to test out. As I've mentioned before, we built a disk house in 2 days. Lately, I've been working also on a Webflow app that will be launching soon. And I also was able to build that, and I will test it out with the support of NoCode. I actually had to code this one, but I didn't do much coding myself because I used the predefined template and then ChatGPT support. So it's all like connecting, and it's moving us towards building more small products, more MVPs to test out the ideas, which will be the backbone of building huge products next with no code. So I think that this small trend, which will be building MVPs, will lead us to a huge trend, which is building the whole products using no code in the future.
Last one from David. What advice would you offer to aspiring developers that are interested in the no code? Give one piece of advice why they should start with no code and one reason why they shouldn't.
Okay. I always said a sentence that you already know, and it's just do it. When you're thinking about it, just look at me. Like 5 years ago, I didn't know what to do with my life, literally. I just knew I was good with computers. So just get into it. If you know how to click buttons, just look into where you can like use your skills. I don't know, it can be Bubble or Webflow, but actually an advice from me, start with Webflow. It gives you all the good fundamentals. You will get to know how HTML works, how CSS works, how JavaScript works with just clicking buttons. And it will give you a good understanding. And it's an amazing starting point to move into the higher ups, let's say Bubble, which is kind of more complicated because it's products. Product doesn't equal a website. So just use that and focus on one tool. I know it sounds scary, and I was in this place where I was like on the crossroads of choosing WordPress versus Webflow, and WordPress gave me stability, but Webflow was kind of the thing I wanted to do. Just choose one and focus on that, and just get good at it. I know it's the learning curve might be high, so that's why you might hesitate. If I don't know, like, when you get into Webflow, it kind of looks like a Photoshop on steroids because it's for websites. So you get overwhelmed. And I get that you can hesitate then, but you have a lot of tutorials to get into that. You have a lot of free, guides on the internet. Webflow University, that is a masterclass of teaching of how to use stuff. So I wouldn't hesitate at all. If you have time, it's a very good career choice, in my opinion. And I think we are just getting started. The market is growing and growing. And I will even risk a statement that it will eat up a good part of a traditional development world. They will be still normal developers, of course, but the no-code market is growing so fast and the tools are getting much better that we might be able to prompt applications and just move blocks around, and then you have your own application. So just get into it and just do it. And if you run into any roadblocks, you can always reach out to me and Wojtek or Tonik in general. We can help anytime. And there's a lot of good people in the no-code space to help. That space is super transparent. Get into it. Everyone will just help you as you grow.